resilience beats talent 100 times down. The people that we speak to on this show fail more than anybody else, right? Successful people are comfy with failure. You fail often, you fail early, but crucially, you fail forwards. I'm Jake Humphrey.
And I'm Damian Hughes.
And we're the hosts of the High Performance Podcast. What makes a high performer?
Well, we've boiled it down in over 300 interviews to somebody that does the best they can in the moment they're in with the resources they have.
And we also believe high performers are resilient. Resilience beats talent 100 times down. No matter how talented you are, without resilience, you won't keep going. So be a resilient person that does the best they can where they are with what they've got.
How important is purpose in business and life?
Purpose is your decision maker. Purpose is the thing where whenever you're not sure which direction to go in, you say to yourself, well, what's my purpose? And does the decision I'm about to make take me closer or further away from my purpose?
How important is failure for long-term success?
We believe that the people that we speak to on this show fail more than anybody else, right? Successful people are comfy with failure.
They often see it as a comma and not a full stop. It's a moment to pause, to reflect, and then respond even better.
And how do you do it? You fail often, you fail early, but crucially, you fail forwards. How do you build and maintain resilience during setbacks? The setbacks are the thing that builds your resilience. I don't think that you can expect to be resilient upon your first setback and then say, well, I wasn't resilient, therefore I'm not resilient. You have to know the next time you'll be more resilient when you get the next setback.
One of our favourite interviews we did was with the fastest man on the planet, Usain Bolt, who told us that the advice his coach Glenn Mills gave him was you have to learn to lose before you can learn to win. And what he meant by that was lean into those failures, go and explore it, work out what could I do better next time, and then actually put it into practice.
How can someone build a high performance mindset? I think my answer will be exploration. Please remember there are people everywhere that have already done the thing that you want to do. You just need to ask them what they did and how they did it.
I'd align that with humility. Humility isn't about thinking less of yourself, but it's about thinking of yourself less. It's about being curious, open-minded, go and lean into other people and ask them the questions that Jake just shared with you to find out how did you do it and how can I replicate it myself? How do I think like a champion?
Don't. As soon as you think like a champion or think you're a champion or think you've got it nailed, you've got it won, you're in serious trouble. I promise you, the most successful people are the hungriest people, no matter what they've already achieved. There's a famous phrase about Edmund Hillary where someone said, what did you think, Edmund, when you climbed your first mountain? He said, I looked to the right and I saw a higher mountain. The truth is, as soon as you think like a champion, you're in trouble.
What are the strategies you use to stay focused and motivated when you're under pressure?
Well, you've worked with some of the biggest sports teams in the world. What do they do to remain focused when it matters?
Well, one of the simplest techniques is they actually prepare for those moments under pressure. They work out what is likely to derail me and then come up with plans and strategies to be able to do it. It's referred to by a psychologist called Gary Klein that says it's a pre-mortem. Work out what can kill me and then work out how can I handle those moments. It's been proven to increase your resilience levels and your ability to perform by over 30%.
What daily habits can get us closer to high performance? Well, the truth is that any daily habits, as long as they're positive habits, can get you closer. The key is to turn those things into a habit. How do you do that? You make them simple and easy. So for me, a habit is to do some stretching first thing in the morning, which is a tiny thing, but it makes a big difference. It's a habit because I don't need an alarm on my phone to tell me to do it. I don't need a PA to ring me and tell me to make sure that I stretch, right? I know that I walk downstairs, I turn on the coffee machine while the coffee's brewing, I stretch. As soon as you make something a habit, you can stick to it. And if it's something positive that you've stuck to, it's only going to help you get closer to high performance.
We were lucky enough to speak to James Clear on the High Performance Podcast. He's the author of the phenomenal best-selling book Atomic Habits, who suggested that habits should fit into one of three criteria. First of all, they should be small and easy to do. The second one is they should be attractive, as in you should want to do them. And then the third one is they should feel satisfying. You should feel pleased after you've done it. So start small, make it attractive, and remember to reward yourself for once you've adopted the habit. How do you improve continuously without risking burnout?
The answer is that you don't improve continuously. You take breaks, you stop, you pause. We often say Formula One races are won during a pit stop, and your life can be won when you're taking a break. You know, you talk about recreation, yeah, having fun, having a break, having a rest. Well, my father-in-law calls it recreation. It's the same word, but you look at it in a different way, and you remember that those moments where you do less are actually really important. How important is taking risks?
Everything is a risk in terms of even doing nothing is always a risk. So think of risk taking in terms of what are the demands that are expected of me, what's my ability to meet those demands, and what are the consequences if I don't. And your ability to answer those three questions minimises the anxiety you feel, so a risk never feels as big or as daunting as it might do before you answer them.
Stop thinking that not taking a risk is risk-free. The biggest risk you can take in your life is not taking a risk.
What's the biggest risk you've ever taken?
I think the biggest risk I've ever taken is, oh man, there's a bunch. I think probably gambling on the fact that I could make it in television. I remember leaving home with no qualifications, and I went and stayed on the floor with my friends in London, and I just applied for loads of jobs, didn't get any of them, and ended up going back home and moving back in with my mum and dad. But it was that period where I realised actually I didn't get any of those jobs, but I really, really want to do this for a living. I loved the auditions, I loved the process, I loved that glimpse into the world of television. So it was a huge risk, it was a complete failure, but it was the best thing I ever did. How has your view of high performance changed since you started doing the podcast?
When we first started, I thought high performance was being number one, or you could measure it in terms of data, or stats and facts and figures. And the reality is that high performance is always going to be subjective. It's going to be the best that you can do in the moment you're in with the resources you have, and that's going to be completely unique to you as an individual. So what's the most interesting lesson you've learned from a guest?
I love having chefs on the show. We had Marcus Waring, who is an amazing Michelin star chef with an incredible career. Let's see if Damien remembers what he said.
Hang around with shit and you'll smell like shit.
There you go. What he says is really the people you hang around with will make a difference to you. Choose the people around you really, really carefully. Don't think that it comes for free. Hanging out with people that are doing you no good. Hang around with shit, you end up smelling like shit. In the words of Marcus Waring. What are the most common mindset mistakes that entrepreneurs make? You've met lots of them. Go on.
I think the first one is thinking that they need to be ready before they take the leap. The point is you have to take the leap before you ever find out if you're ready.
Brilliant.
What's your advice for entrepreneurs striving for high performance?
Seek community. I think there are loads of entrepreneurs, there are loads of business leaders who are out there and they feel like they're on their own. They feel like they don't know the next path to take. They feel like they're the one taking all the risk for very minimal reward, and they're questioning whether they've got the talent and the ability to do what it takes. But you know what? We all feel exactly the same. So please lean into other entrepreneurs on that same journey as you.